Hello, this is Teresa. I'm going to be showing you some products that I received from Neo and show you a couple of different things that you can do with some of the things in this box. So I'm showing you the stickers, the twine, some paper clips. So as you can notice, this all has a theme to it. This is the mint color theme. And here are some buntings to make a cute little sign. Some flags that you could use for, I would imagine them on cupcakes, some matching gift bags, and of course, envelopes and cards for your invitations to be personalized. And there are also some matching coordinating napkins to go with it. And here are some of the inks. I have a noble blue colored ink, which is kind of a navy color, this soft pink color, and fresh mint, and some confetti in the silver color, some tags, some masking tape in silver, and last but certainly not least, the Neo stamping tool, which comes with a design that you can order online. And I'm showing you exactly what it looks like. It's a cute little fella. So I'm going to show you a couple of the stamps that I'd already ordered online at my-neo.com, and I received them in the mail. So I'm showing you one that's got an return address on it, so I can use that to stamp on envelopes. And I have a second one that I ordered that was custom made for a 70th birthday. So that will be the two different stamps I'm going to be using that were ordered custom made. A little bit later on, I'll be showing you one that I actually bought from a Hobby Lobby store. It's one of the standard designs of stamps that is available. So I'm going to show you how to load the ink pad. You want to make sure that the ink is facing downwards before sliding into the slot that is there for the stamp. And what you can do to pick up that stamp and make sure it's lined is to place it onto above the stamp in the envelope to pick it up. And if you have any trouble picking it up at all, you can always just place it on a piece of plain paper and make sure that it's lined up. And I'm already stamping away with my new custom-made stamp design. And here's one of the standard designs that I mentioned earlier in the video. I'm just peeling off the top layer so that I can add the stamp to the stamping tool. And I was pointing out that there are two little notches that line up with the card to help you line up as you pick it up off the base. And I'm having a little bit of trouble because the stamp is stuck down really well to the packaging. So a little tip for you is, if you have this trouble, to remove the other part of the packaging from the back of the stamp, because it does have a piece of plastic on the front and back, and then place it down, line it up, it picks it up quite easily. So now that I've done that, I stamp it a few times on a piece of cardstock, and I chose something out of my stash that was a similar color to get an idea of what it would look like. Now I'm going to work on some of the envelopes. I'm going to show you a basic way to use them, as well as some ways that you can customize an envelope, an invitation, with some of the other items that I showed you earlier. So the inside of the invitation is white, so you could stamp or write something on the inside, or even use your computer and printer to print some sort of invitation and glue it down on the inside. So I'm going to start by stamping on the circle, that blank circle in the front, which is put there so that you can customize your stamp. So it's a good idea to take your time to make sure you're lining it up correctly before you stamp down, and then stamp down firmly. In that way, you'll have a good result. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp the rest of the cards with this basic design, and then I will show you some ways that you could customize this. And I'm showing you how I decided to stamp the outside of the envelope on the front with that standard happy or birthday party stamp. And as you can see, my first attempt was not a good result. So I picked up the next envelope and started to stamp it again, and I realized what I needed to do was unfold the entire envelope because it comes pre-folded, but it is not glued together. So when I did this, I got a much better result stamping on the front of the envelope. So something to keep in mind if this is something that you want to do in designing your own invitations. I also wanted my return address stamped on the outside flap of the envelope, so that is what I'm doing right here, is adding the return address. So now my envelope is basically ready to go once I add some glue to the flaps. So now I'm back to the basic invitation that I'd already stamped with my custom stamp with the balloons. And I'm pulling out the confetti pieces, and as you can see, some of them are in mint green, some are in the silver glitter metallic color. And I decided it would be fun, since the size of this is just perfect to fit around or over top of where I stamped. I don't want to cover that up, of course, but I'm using a circle die, and I'm going to create a frame to put around where I stamped onto the card. Now this is certainly something optional, and it may be that you don't necessarily have a die or die cut machine. That if this is something you're interested in, you might be able to find a punch or a die punch at a craft store that cuts circles, and you may find just the right size in order to get a similar look to what I'm doing right here. Now I'm using some low-tack tape to hold my die in place so it does not shift when I run it through this little miniature size die cutting machine. So I'm just putting that tape there to make sure it does not move around on me and that I get a good result. So as you can see, these two acrylic plates just go into this little die cut machine, and I will leave a link to this below if it's something you're interested in, as well as other products I'm using today. And when I pull this out, I'll have both a circular frame that fits right over that stamp piece, and I think that's just a wonderful little accent for my invitation. And on top of that, I still can use the remaining piece of the confetti as confetti. So this is how you can kind of stretch the use of the products, or some of the different products that come with this, not come with this, but that you can order separately. And in any case, I wanted to further embellish the invitation by putting a vertical stripe using the masking tape that's in the same silver metallic color. So I got an idea of how that would look and if I would like it or not, and I decided I did like the look of it. So this piece is obviously too short to work on this, but I will just need to cut a separate piece to go on the top. And once I have a piece lined up on the bottom, and I'm just going to overlap it slightly into that white area so you can kind of see that I overlap it just a little, but not too much. So that way when I put the circle back on top of that, it will cover up those two ends of tape in the center just perfectly. So you kind of see what I mean? And if you need to adjust the tape, at least it is low tack and you can pick it up and move it around if necessary to make it fit just perfect. So that's what I needed to do on this. I needed to adjust it and move it up just slightly, and no problem at all. It did not destroy my paper in any way, shape, or form. So now once that's all glued in place, you could certainly leave it just as it is right there, or If you're like me and it still isn't quite enough and you wanted to add a little more pizzazz to it, there is one more step that I did. And I just took an ordinary bottle cap, and you'll see that in a moment, and I'm going to use the blue ink pad that comes with this, that you can order to go with the stamping tool. And I'm going to use that to add some accents. So this is just an ordinary cap, probably came from a toothpaste tube or something like that. And I'm just dipping it into the ink and just randomly adding some little circles on top of my invitation just to add yet a little more interest. Now these are all just optional things that you can do, but I wanted to show you that you could go with a more simple version of it, or if you want to add a little more interest to it, that you can certainly do that with the ink and the tape and the confetti and make a customized envelope for your invitations. Thank you so much for watching today. I hope you enjoyed this video and will leave me a thumbs up or a comment. And in another few days to a week, I'll release part 2 showing you how to create some other party creations with some of the other things that you saw in the box. Thank you.